Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Spit Talk podcast. My name is Jan,
And my name is Aaron.
and today we are talking some Beetlejuice, baby.
And
Um,
just
just get right
Beetlejuice
into it.
and the second
Beetlejuice
Beetlejuice.
and the second Beetlejuice. Yeah, so
We
we
don't want
are
to say it a third time.
right. We're doing the first two. I mean, kind of because the second one came out, and in order to rewatch, in order to get into it, I think we both rewatched it again, the first one, just to get into the mood. Um,
Yeah.
but we could just, I guess, get right into it. Like, what do you think? Like, what do you even, are you a big fan of Beetlejuice in general, or what? Like,
I
what's your
remember
what's your
growing
experience with it? Yeah,
I remember growing up watching Beetlejuice. It's like one of my auntie's favorite. So it was pretty interesting, like the Deo scene and all that other stuff. So
hmm
it's very memorable. And
yeah,
coming into Beetlejuice 2, I was hoping to get something like that. So I guess quick review on it is just like I prefer the first one over the second, or comparing the two, I prefer the first one over the second one, and I
for
guess we'll
sure.
talk more about it when it comes, or when the time comes, I guess. But that's my
Yeah,
initial.
yeah. I think, like, I, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Beetlejuice is this is only Tim Burton's second movie. So,
Mm,
it was before the times when, I guess, Tim Burton's style wasn't like a thing yet. Like, I mean, like, you could
yeah,
see his vision and you could see his style there, but it's not like the style that we know of today, where it's kind of formulaic in a sense. So I think I do like that with the first one a lot. With the second one, you can kind of see hints of Beetlejuice, or with Tim Burton s getting in there a little more. But I still did enjoy it. I enjoyed the film a lot, and I think it's just basically, I just like that the character of Beetlejuice. I like Michael Keaton in the role,
yeah,
and I like the fact that they got most of the main cast back for the second one. Which, and yeah, like, for me, I didn't really grow up, like, I grew up with it. Like, I watched it before as a kid. I never got it until maybe just rewatching it again recently, where I'm like,
yeah,
as an adult, you start getting more of the nuances of, like, the jokes and just the overall narrative of what's going on in the film. And I appreciated it a little more now. Yeah, with the second one, I guess we could kind of talk about, like, is there anything that you did like or didn't like?
yeah.
Um,
So for like going off what you said, like Beetlejuice was totally the highlight of the first one, and in
mhm,
this one, he was totally the highlight in the second one.
yeah,
The I did like the other characters coming back, but for some reason they didn't make a mark as they did in the first one for some reason.
mhm,
So like I liked how in Beetlejuice 2, like he had a more role that he wanted to play in, I guess, because you know how
mhm,
like in the first one he felt more villainous, but this one he felt like, hey, I need your help kind of vibe. So like I like that role that he played.
mhm,
And again with the other characters, the other original characters, I didn't really like their stories. Some were pretty like
mhm.
uninteresting. So that I think what held me along was again just Beetlejuice being part of it, because I think most of us were there just to see Michael Keaton reprise his role as that.
Yeah,
Um, with Jenna Ortega though, I thought that was a cool storyline. But the thing is, my brothers called it out too. Is they cut it short, like they ended that plot pretty short. And
it was
if you
really
watch the
quick.
movie, yeah, if you watch the movie,
Yeah,
like I was like, dude, what's the point of bringing this up if it wasn't even gonna be a big stakes moment?
it was resolved really fast, and I think that was one of my
Exactly.
issues with it. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, it's like, I'm not going and expecting, like the most intricate plot, I guess. So I in order to enjoy it, for me, I kind of just went into it saying, hey, I want to see Michael Keaton doing his thing. And the thing that I appreciated the most, and I think that he even mentioned this in an interview, where, because rewatching the first one, right, the impact that Michael Keaton had as Beetlejuice, you never actually thought about how much screen time he had and how much he was in the first
Exactly.
movie.
Yeah.
Because when rewatching it again, I'm like, he's barely in this fucking thing. He's only in it for, like, maybe 10,
15
15
minutes. Yeah,
minutes,
10,
yeah,
15
of
minutes.
screen time. But he really made, an impact just doing that. And I was afraid in the second one that Tim Burton would be like, hey, everyone likes this character. I want to show more of him. And they did give him a more prominent role, but they didn't go the way that I was scared that they were going to go, which is like, hey, here's Beetlejuice right in your face the whole goddamn time. No, I mean, they
Yeah.
still focused on everyone else. They still focused on the narrative around him. And he was
Mhm.
just kind of there as like the tool. I mean, it was really fun too, seeing him in that role again. Um, the the thing that I didn't enjoy as much is like, well, first off, Monica, or what's her name again? Miranda Baccarin, I
The
think. Or no,
yeah,
that's a different
the
person. Different
lover,
person. Yeah, Monica Bellucci. I don't what. Yeah, the
whatever her
ex
name is.
the ex wife. Okay,
Yeah.
if you take her out of the movie, nothing would have changed. Like, I don't think
Mhm.
anything would have changed in the story. Like, I don't know what she was in there for, to be quite honest. I mean, I guess it was good to have her, as I can. I really don't know.
Yeah.
But like for the overall plot of the movie, like with whatever was happening, even the resolution with the Jenna Ortega thing, and trying to get that going, which they could have fleshed out way more. Having that in the story did nothing for it. Like, you could have just taken that out, and it would have been the same exact movie. So
Yeah.
I don't know what that was for really. Like, maybe it was just like a foil for Beetlejuice at a certain
Mm.
point because they needed someone there. But there could have been ways around it. Like, what do you think about that?
No, yeah, like everything you're saying is totally true because if we had to again compare the two, the first and the second, the first one really had impacts. Hey, look, it's Kyle.
Hey, Kyle.
Someone doesn't read his messages like that. But I guess you're here. But anyways, what was I saying? So what I liked about the first one is it was one story. That's
Yeah.
why I think I liked it. It was just one story that we can follow along. Like I said, the thing with the second one, there was like three different stories going on. We got a death in the family. We got Jenna Ortega reuniting with the dad. We got Beetlejuice, and the the ex-wife. So
Mm,
there was just too much going on that I didn't like. But I feel like
mm.
what you said was true, like fleshing out the two stories, which would be Jenna Ortega's own and um the
Winona
wife.
Ryder. Yeah.
Yeah, it should have
Or the
like,
wife. Yeah, I guess.
yeah, like if that if those two like worked well, I'm okay with that. Or like what you said, like Winona Ryder, like her character, and just that whole seeing each other again and just take out the wife. It was cool that we got a backstory about her.
Mm.
Like you said, I wish she was more prominent because like it was useless having her, to be
Yeah.
honest. But
I don't know if I would agree with her being useless in the movie, but I don't know.
dude, I think she was for plot, to be honest.
I
Like
guess.
more
Yeah.
backstory on Beetlejuice, like because remember, if again I watched Beetlejuice one, then I watched the second one.
Mhm.
He's like, oh man, he like when he was in the first one, he was talking about that ring. I was like, oh man, this was hard to get, and like you
Yeah.
see that one line where like that's hard to get based off of that character Dolores. I just googled her, that Dolores character. So yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I just wish she was more used in a sense, you know.
Yeah.
She was just in a cat and mouse chase trying to find Beetlejuice, and you know, which was, I wish there was more to it. That's all.
I, yeah, I kind of thought she was fine. Like, I mean, she played her part well for what she was given. The whole thing with her and the what's his name, Justin Thoreau, and that whole dynamic with him wanting to marry her in a weird, like, they kind of hinted at those things, but I kind of wish they played that into, like, played more into that as well. It's just a bunch of, like, a bunch of plot points were being thrown at you that was kind of just
Mm-hmm.
like there. But really, like, overall though, I still quite enjoyed the movie. I still thought it was fun. Like, it was really just, I mean, like, just being in it, in that world again. Having Michael Keaton be in that role.
Okay. You know what
um
this is saying? You're a
what
nostalgia boy. This is a nostalgic movie. So if you
I
haven't
mean,
watched
if
it,
you
this is
kind
all
of,
for
yeah.
nostalgia. Yeah. So if you want to
Yeah, I
watch it all
mean,
for nostalgia, great. But like I was expecting, like a good sequel to the first one because I really enjoyed the first one. If it was memorable
mhm,
for us as a first one, I wanted this one to be memorable for us. So at least we can pass that stuff. But it was a
yeah.
total nostalgia grab, which I'm okay with. But it feels like
Here's the thing, though.
When we're releasing this, I feel like it's a great Halloween movie to play every October. That's
Here's
all I
here's
gotta say.
The
here's the
second
thing.
one?
The second he's talking
Yeah.
about the second one. Here's the thing, though, with the second one that I think we're kind of overlooking. I mean, at least for me, it's the fact that it's Tim Burton. What's his track record been lately? I think for me, it's just been about like, is it going to be good? Am I going to enjoy it? And since I did, and the fact that, he pulled back on some of his tendencies, and the fact that I said, like, yeah, he didn't just go all out. And I think maybe Michael Keaton had a play in that too, like that, the fact that he didn't want to, like just because he's the highlight of the first one, that he didn't want to be all up in your face in the second one. And, maybe he did have a hand in that. But the fact that, they go that in that direction, and that it was still pretty good. I would give it a pretty solid, fun score. I don't know what we're scoring things these days, but I would say it's pretty fucking watchable. It's enjoyable enough for to maybe if you want to watch it on a Halloween night or something, I would say go for it. It's still pretty cool.
I did like I guess you can say that's true. Like, speaking out of it now, like, he did kind of pull back, and I guess that's his just evolution in general as him as a creator, because his first movies were pretty out there, and with the stop motion, all that stuff. And like with this one, he did pull back, and I guess I see it if you watch the Wednesday, it's like it's more like kind of like semi-realistic, like a girl going to school and all that stuff. So I see where he was trying to meld the two, but I guess I was just so hooked on the first one, I thought we were gonna get back into that world, and I was hoping to see him like go his crazy way, if that's what we can call it, or like his original idea. But yeah, I liked going down. I think another positive of the movie, it was us going into, I guess, the purgatory, where that purgatory area, like most of the film was shot there. I thought that was cool. Like I enjoyed that area, which wasn't
Soul
explored
Train,
in the
dude.
first one. Yeah, like that whole purgatory.
The Soul Train was
like
so
learning
fun,
more. Yeah, it was just a fun, fun thing to see, and just like how crazy the characters can be, which I liked, and like how everyone dies in a certain way, and they're all like different. That one was cool. I thought, and again, that's why I say it's a good Halloween flick, in my opinion.
Yeah. I thought the Soul Train thing was funny. Like there are a lot of good stuff that they did down. Willem Dafoe we didn't even talk about. He had some funny moments. But again, he was kind of one of those things that it's like it could have just been really anybody. Like I don't know. Like if they just needed him in there, but he did have some fun moments.
He's in everything nowadays. He pops up here and there.
Yeah.
How was the little cameos, the Danny DeVito?
See, yeah, Danny DeVito was cool. I didn't even realize he was in it too. Like a return, like with him working with Tim Burton. Like, I don't remember the last time he did. Was it really just Batman Returns? Do you know?
Based off my knowledge, I'm gonna say yeah, but
I want to say yeah too. I don't know. But yeah, that was cool.
What do you think about the other character, the new one, the kid, Jenna Ortega's like boyfriend? What do you think of that one? I know we talked about the plot line. Is just like, well, what do you think overall? Like, we know it kind of ended quick, but it's just like, what do you think of that one?
That's the thing. I thought he did fine, and I thought he was actually pretty cool. Like whatever the idea of what he's doing was, or what he was given, and that where that story would have headed was cool. But it just kind of, just like that. And
did you call it? Did you call it?
I mean, yeah, from the get go, you called it, because it's like you don't even show the parents. You get in there and you're like, yeah, this motherfucker's dead. You could kind of see all that. So yeah, I mean, right when you didn't know what his intentions were, but
yeah,
you knew he was dead. Like from the get go, you're like, yeah, this motherfucker's dead. I mean, it's kind of like just their thing to push forward Jenna Ortega's thing, because she's like, yeah, I don't believe in ghosts. There was a fucking fake or whatever.
Yeah, and speaking on that, like going from him to Jenna Ortega, like I think she really fit well in this world, and I think it worked with Winona Ryder's character, and I liked how that mom and daughter relationship, like how that passing of the torch, like I think the mom called it out too, like now you know how it feels to like be a mom towards a daughter. So like that switch, I like that.
I like
you
that
know,
too.
I like how the roles kind of reversed in a way, and she's feeling the pain on it. So that was cool. And I don't know. I think the uh Jenna and Wyona Ryder, like it feels very genuine overall,
hmm
you know.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad those two I felt like were the highlights as well
Yeah.
in the movie next to Michael Keaton.
Yeah. Michael
Yeah.
Keaton, sometimes I couldn't hear though. Like, was he too deep for you? He had a deep ass voice in this one for some reason. Like,
I
this is
think they're
me.
trying to show, or that's probably his age, dude, kicking in.
You think so? Yeah,
That
that's the thing.
or unless he psychologically said like, I want Beetlejuice to be older because it's been that long.
Because he doesn't really have that deep of a voice nowadays, right? I mean, he still sounds the same for the most part, but every time he talks, he's like,
oh yeah, when you
like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Think about it, Bob. Watch the film, Bob.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, I don't remember it being that deep, but I was like, okay, I guess.
That's the age showing for sure.
I guess
But,
that's yeah.
and of course we got to talk about Beetlejuice himself. Like, what do you think about him?
I thought it was cool. I mean, it's just so I wish because he kind of said that like they wouldn't pull back on the stuff that he said, just because of the
Okay.
times nowadays. I kind of wish they went more out there. It still felt a little subdued in some ways. You know what I mean? Just because of the times, because he was really inappropriate in the first one.
Yeah.
If you think about it. But I mean, he still was I mean, the fucking movie's named after him, for Christ's sake. So I think the fact that I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a third one at this point.
Really?
I feel like, I mean, the whole
I don't
bit
think
with
so.
the baby, we'll see, man. I mean, we didn't think a second one was gonna happen. You know what I mean?
I thought a second one was possible, but a third one I don't think so.
Hollywood's running out of ideas, man.
Yeah. Well, what
But,
they set up something in there is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
They did, but I just hope they like stop it there,
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. Because I guess keeping the Beetlejuice talk going, which one did you prefer? Like Beetlejuice 1 or Beetlejuice 2, like as the character? Because I think they both did a tremendous job. Like out of the whole cast, Michael Keaton killed his role again in this movie. So for me, I liked the energy of Beetlejuice in the first one, but I liked his story in the second one. Because like you said, he wasn't as used in the first one, but he was able to use 10 to 15 minutes to make of his energy to make it like what it is, right? But with the second one, we got a more like fleshed out Beetlejuice and like his intentions, and like I guess you can say he keeps to his words, like of him, like I'll follow, I'll do it, or like he was like the hero basically in this movie.
Yeah.
So I did enjoy that part.
Yeah, I think I still enjoy the first one a lot more. Definitely. I mean, it's just obviously it's the original, and the fact that like I forgot it was like I just gotta mention it here. Rewatching the first one now, I thought Alec Baldwin's character before was played by Bill Pullman because he looked exactly like the guy from Casper.
Yeah, you forget that's freaking.
That's Alec Baldwin.
Yeah,
I was like, what the fuck? That's Alec Baldwin. And then when like I by the longest time I thought it was the guy from Casper. So I mean,
really,
the more you know.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No, it took,
Day,
like I think like later on it took me a while. Like, oh shit, that was Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin.
But,
yeah,
that was crazy.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I kind of wish they. I mean, I guess they didn't have to be in it too. I like the reference to them, but I kind of did wish that we could have seen something regarding those two because they were such big parts of the first one as well. But I think for the most part, I think that's all we have in terms of what we thought about the movie. I did like the second one as well, but it's still not as good as the first, but it is a pretty fun watch for if you want to watch something for, I guess, the Halloween season.
For sure.
Any final thoughts, Aaron? Kyle, since you came in, you didn't even watch the fucking movie?
I have not watched either. So
all right.
We're gonna but you get a fresh review from me in this. Okay, right out of the assignment.
All right.
Well,
So, with that said, thank you for listening. Again, we are the Spit Talk Podcast, amateur opinions by amateur reviewers. Check out on our socials, and we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.
Bye. Quick
Bye.
bites. Oh, shit. Stop playing. Okay, there we go.